Okay, all right.
What's up, everybody? How y'all all
Good
feel?
evening, Corey.
We're gonna get it started in just a second, everybody. You ready to kick it off, my brother?
I'm ready when you're ready.
We're gonna start as soon as it says recording, and that's when we're starting it. Greetings, everybody. My name is Ryan Mack, president of Main Street, and welcome to the town hall. This town hall is being brought to you by Metropolitan Peace Initiative, the organization that when you hear that there's a 13% reduction in crime throughout the city of Chicago, a large part of that is in no small part by the Metropolitan Peace Initiative, whose entire mission is to go out and recruit individuals to help engage, organize, and lobby on behalf of victims, lobby on behalf of communities and individuals. And they do tremendous things throughout the community. And they actually brought me on board because they wanted to add an addition of financial literacy and education to the overall mix of the type of services they provide. So absolutely excited to be a part of them and want to welcome you on their behalf. I'm here. I'm excited for tonight. Tonight we have an individual in Corey Rutledge who has brought a level of excitement and learning and actual tangible implication of the principles of financial education and brought it to the forefront. He actually sat through the course and has been working with myself for almost 5 or 6 months now. And Corey Rutledge, as far as I'm concerned, goes above and beyond the call of duty to not only learn the principles and implement the principles, but then give these principles back to his community. As you see here, he's a part of public equity and he does a myriad of things. Recently just got a promotion, as a matter of fact, where he was in the community outreach team. Now he goes into hospitals. And for those individuals that have gotten shot, he goes to them and talks to them and works with them and sees various levels of different resources that he wants to provide to those for the victims of shootings, of crime, and their families, wants to make sure there's no retaliation, and a whole myriad of things that he offers in terms of resources. Let me tell you personally, I've seen him in action. I've seen the commitment that he's given to his people. I've seen the level of love and sacrifice he's done for his community. And I'm gonna tell you, not only that, it does not come from a place where he doesn't have experience himself of overcoming his own adversity, which you're gonna hear about in a second. I'll tell you, talking about Phoenix rising from the ashes. Corey Rutledge is a perfect example of someone who's gone through adversity, learned from it, excelled, started businesses, became a self-made entrepreneur. And you know what? I'm not going to tell you his whole story. I'm going to let Corey tell you his story. And so, Corey Rutledge, thank you for joining us today. And tell your story. The floor is yours.
Thank you for having me, Matt. And I come today. I just want to start out by saying, I was 15 years old. When I left my parents' home, I was hustling, doing everything I could, for the coin. My mother was a single mother, single parent, raising me. She couldn't control me. I wanted to just do what I wanted to do. I wanted to be who I wanted to be. So, I moved out and I rented, a smoker's house. And pretty much I lived on the streets ever since then. My first time being locked up, I was 17 years old. I received probation on that case. And I went on to violate that probation. When I violated that probation, I pretty much went to the penitentiary. And ever since then, and I just been in and out of the system. I pretty much ended up doing the majority of my 20s and my 30s, my early 30s behind bars. I started over again and again. That was basically hell, steady running into the same brick wall. So, when I came home, I was homeless. I had nowhere to live. I had to live with my family members, my sister being to be exact. And it was kind of like, it was like being locked up all over again, having to, go by somebody else's rules. So, I had to just stay there till I got on my feet. I didn't want a job. All I wanted to do was hustle and continue down that same path that got me locked up. Didn't apply myself, so I made it hard for myself. I stayed on that negative path, continuing to spiraling downward. My motivation pretty much was my kids. I was always an active father, knowing that if I leave my kids will end up following in my footsteps. And, I didn't want to leave it to chance. I was there. There was multiple people around me steady catching federal cases. And they just kind of scared me straight and just kind of, showed me where I didn't want to be. And, I just wasn't willing to give the system any more of my time. So it kind of just helped me to, start to, get on the straight and narrow path. Most of my support system was people that I grew up with, people that had careers. One of my business partners, he was one of the people that was around me all the time. He ended up being incarcerated for federal charges. He always told me that they had beds for knuckleheads, and he pretty much told me, man, get on the right road and stay there, unless I'm gonna end up where he was. So I kind of just, I took heed to that, and I kind of just followed, that straight path, and I just stayed away from certain things because like I said, I didn't want to get a system more of my time. Today I'm just grateful that I was able to start my own trucking business. Now I've been doing strong for 5 years with that. I'm also aggressively working hard in an untapped market that many melanated people are not yet to scratch the surface in. I'm also working diligently in my community to restore public health, public safety, doing community violence intervention work. I'm also working with Black Researchers Collective, researching maternal health for birth and families, in the Arbor Gresham community. And I'm just trying to be a staple and be a role model so that people can learn from what I'm doing. I started my trucking business. I had to do a lot of research, fundraising, and borrowing. I got a small grant to help me do some of the paperwork to get started, talking to different people inside the industry for tips and guidance. One market, I'm still working hard to open the doors for me, but the other business that I'm working with, they're not making it easy for me. They're making it a challenge, and I can appreciate that challenge because it's making me go even harder in that market. So, I'm just staying down and just staying straight and putting the work in that I need to put in. One thing I can promise though is I never give up. No is not an option for me. So in my community, I outreach. When I got started with the outreach job, I had to wait like a year before they put me on board. But once I started, man, I had to put my all into it, and I've been working hard and diligently, to help my community and my the people in my community to just offer them any resources I have and just help them know that this is help out there. Man, my experience with Ryan Mack, it was legendary. Day one when I met Mack, it was an orientation, where he outlined everything. We would learn each week. Financial literacy is let me slow down. Financial literacy is a one-on-one where we gain knowledge all around the board. There was not one thing that he did not cover in the class. Ryan teachings made me, do real homework when it comes to my finances. And I understand, what he was saying immediately. Financial literacy was very important to me because I'm a provider of my household, and I want to create generational wealth, for my children and grandchildren. It feels wonderful to be almost debt free. My truck, it will be paid off this week. I got, a few credit cards. My debt will be paid on that this week as well. And maybe by the end of this year, the last vehicle that I'm financing, it will be paid off too. So I'm working hard, to create financial literacy for myself and my family and, the people around me, trying to get on what I learned, what Ryan is teaching me, what I've learned through the program, and just, continue to build a strong financial backing and, continue to support my family and everybody around me. One thing I just want to tell to the people that's coming home and the people that's out here, lean into your discomfort. Don't be scared of change. Focus on what you want. Write out a game plan, execute. Don't be afraid of failure. embrace it, keep striving for greatness, never give up. Man, just keep going through your struggles, man. Claim your victories. Always celebrate every win, no matter how small. And have a support system because you're going to always need it, man. You're going to need it often too. So it's kind of a little bit of my story, where I came from, where I'm at, what I'm doing. And I just want to keep, striving. And I just want to thank Mac for, helping me and giving me the knowledge and the financial literacy, man, to conquer my dreams and to keep moving. Appreciate you, Mac.
All right. Everybody give him a round of applause, everybody. Give him some love. Give him some love. Brother Corey, I just want to say you exceeded expectations, brother. You exceeded expectations. I actually he sent me the speech yesterday, and I knew it was going to be good. And to hear it in person is even better than what I thought it was going to be. So I just want to say congratulations, not only for the speech, but for the work you've been doing for these past almost 6-7 months we've known each other. You continue to just work hard every single day. Probably the easiest student I've ever worked with, where literally it's almost like if I think about something, you've already got it done and you've implemented it. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions, man. So you said, because I don't want to gloss over some of the things you said in that, you'll be debt-free in how long?
I'll be debt-free by the end of the year. And when I started the year out, I had maybe like 2-3 loans. I have a lot of credit card debt. And with your teachings and with the things that you taught me, how important it is to be debt free. I just I focused, I settled down, and I started attacking that debt. So once I get that down at the end of the year, I'll be able to start my retirement plan saving. So that's what I'm working toward.
And so one thing, let's go back for a second here, Corey, because I want to really talk about that first moment where you said you just came home. And you said you moved into your sister's house, and you said it felt like you were in jail again. So like, talk about the feelings that you had to go through. And was that part of the motivation to get the multiple businesses? Because I want to get to the businesses you started to really talk about those in depth. What was the real motivation when you came home to really get yourself together? Or expound, you talked about it in the speech, but expound upon that for a little bit.
Well, when I came home, and like I said, I was homeless, so I didn't have a choice but to live with somebody. And I was happy that she gave me a room and allowed me to stay in her house. And to be honest, it didn't feel good living with somebody. I still couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't come and go as I pleased. And it kind of just it motivated me to want to be on my own. So after being having to start over and over again, I got tired and sick of that feeling. So, and that that pretty much was most of my life. So I felt like change was inevitable. So I just kind of wanted to change, and I created opportunity for myself. I did the research, I did the work, and when I got my first truck, I just started working hard, and it felt good to create that business platform because it was something that I did, and nobody could take it from me and stop me. And as I built and continue to just thrive in that business, I learned the system so fast that, man, it felt good to create my own. And once I created my own, I was able to move out and support myself. So I didn't need to stay with her no more. So I got my own home. I got my own, I had my own everything. And I've been building on that business for about 5 years now. And every step of the way, it just felt good to get out there and work and create it and just move forward in that business. So,
and that's and in the trucking business, did you have a license before you came home, or did you had to get your license once you got home? You had to study for it and everything at your sister's house?
Yeah, I had a regular license, but when I first started, I started with a regular license. I had to get my CDL in order to really carry the real loads and to be able to, man, get out there and make money for myself. So I sat in the corner in the room. I studied that CDL book, and to be honest, I was driving before I had a CDL. I was just out there trying to learn. So I got out there, got in the truck, taught myself how to drive. I read the rules of the road, took the test. I had my permit. Once I had my permit for about a year, And I just was driving on the permit for a year, and then I just got out there and took the CDL test, and from there, I just climbed the ladder a little bit at a time.
And so now, you know the trucking industry better than I do, because when I saw, we've talked about this, but I didn't hear that part of the story when you talk about studying for and all the work that you put in. So kudos for that. How many people who drive trucks actually become debt free within the trucking industry? Isn't the truck probably one of the biggest levels of debt that people have to carry? Do people become debt free within the trucking industry? So now literally all you have to worry about is just basic overhead costs and not expenses for the vehicle itself. How many people actually become debt free in the trucking industry?
And to be honest with you, probably, man, you can count on one hand. It's not very many. So, people don't know the importance of being financially free and not having to have that overhead of paying for it. And, we pay the finance company so much financing fees, and your fees is every day. So, you showed me that. And when I sat down and I started looking at, what I was paying on top of me paying, what the truck was costing me a month, I looked at what I was paying per year, and I was paying like $7,000-8,000 extra because of these fees. So, man, it's hard for us to really understand what we paying because we don't know. We just be, shoving the money out. So once I sat down with what you taught me and I looked over everything, I'm like, man, I'm tripping. So to be honest with you, I don't know many people that get debt free in the truck industry because we so used to paying bills that we be complacent in it.
So do you think that, and just as a personal question, do you feel that, because there's another person that I talked to at one point where we were putting together a retirement budget, and we were talking about, and she was in her 40s, and we were talking about their retirement budget from when she was going to be in her 70s. And I had her put together a budget for when she was in her 70s to project what her life would look like. And she put together her income and expenses and where she would live. And then a part of her expenses was debt. And so I said, well, why do you have this debt here over 30 years from today? This should be paid off. And her response was, well, I'm so used to having debt. I would just imagine that when I'm in my 70s, I would also have debt. That's just like a part of life. Is that the same in the trucking industry? Do you think, has it been so ingrained in truck drivers that it becomes a part of their life in a day-to-day life that they're just always going to have debt?
It do, because in my brain, before I met you and I sat down and you told me and showed me the way, and I always thought that I was gonna have debt till the day I die. Like I'm gonna keep this debt because a monthly payment is nothing. So kind of like the everyday thought is that you're gonna have debt for the rest of your life. So yeah, it is.
Wow. Well, kudos to that, brother. So now that's one business that you have. So you're a truck driver, but you also expound a little bit more about the work with Public Equity. How did you go about getting the promotion? Because that's news to me. I usually keep up with you, but I didn't even know you got a promotion. So congratulations, man. How did you go about getting that? And what type of work do you do on a day-to-day with Public Equity?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, Public Equity is it's an outreach. What we do is we go into the neighborhoods. We offer resources to the people in the neighborhoods, and we prevent violence and retaliation from shootings and stuff. And we're just trying to create community safety, and just offer resources and help people to realize and understand what's going on. So through Public Equity, I also work with CPRU, which is Crisis Prevention Response Unit, where we go out to downtown. We go to the teen trends. And we work with the teens. Every time they have a trend, it's like crisis response, where we go out and we stop them from fighting. We stop them from victimizing each other. We stop them from getting arrested, and we just be out there to get them some of the knowledge that we have and to help them to understand, man, what they should be doing and where they should be at. Just dealing with each other, and it's like, man, it's so much work. It's so hard that. It's really a challenge going out there every week. And, sometimes we go out 3-4 times a week. And, when we dealing with the kids, we're just trying to, help them to, stop victimizing each other, not victimize any business owners and, to prevent them from hurting each other. And you know, sometimes we get hurt in the process. So, and it's a lot. You know, we put our life on the line for it, and you know, it's just a passion that, you know, me and my whole team have. You know, we just out there. You know, we just trying to create, you know, public safety for everybody.
And so what, because there's a million different directions you could have gone once you came home. Talk about the process to actually go the route of being a community advocate, because not everybody chooses that route. What inspired you to go that route?
Well, some of the people in my neighborhood was doing it. You know, they asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. You know, they had asked me over like maybe 2 years ago. So when they asked me 2 years ago, you know, I just asked them, you know, man, you know, what is it? What do you do? So they kind of explained it to me, and at first I was like, man, I don't know about that, but you know, I told them, yeah, you know, man, put me on. I come aboard just to see how it is, and like I say, it was a waiting process. They didn't even give me the job right away. They made me wait a year. So like after that year came, they called me back, like, man, you still ready to work? Man, you know, I'm always ready to help my community. So man, put me on. So, you know, they came in, they put me down with the team. We started going out to people that was having, you know, different events in the community where we would come out, you know, and introduce ourselves to people, you know, just offer resources to the neighborhoods, and, you know, just help any and everybody that's in the community that need help. So, you know, once I started doing the work, you know, I saw how, man, the people faces, and, you know, how people, you know, felt, you know, when they seen us out there. They responded good to us. They used to appreciate us being out there. And, you know, it's just like, man, it's like a big family, you know, one big family that just, man, you know, every time you have something, you know, they always see your face. So, you know, you become a staple in the hood, and, you know, they just love you every time because they see you out there, they see you doing the work, and they feel safe when you know, when we're around and we're out there. So to just create that environment where people feel safe, you know, it warms my heart, and it just makes me go hard and, man, stay out there.
And so you were a truck at that point in time when you got that call back. Had you already started your trucking business?
I was doing the trucking business for about 3.5, 4 years at that time.
And so talk about time management, because we haven't gotten to your other business ventures yet. We haven't got to, I mean, High Road Logistics, correct? That's the name of the business.
Yes, sir.
So it's trucking. You've got your community outreach, and then you're not doing that for free. They're giving you a salary. So you are legitimately have created multiple streams of revenue, which
Yes.
if that's not financial education, I don't know what is. That is the epitome of financial literacy, creating multiple streams of income. So trucking, community advocacy, just got promoted. Did the promotion come with an increase in salary as well?
It did. Nice increase.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. And so now, but then we also have to include, you want to talk about the cannabis business?
Yeah, well, it's a market I'm trying to break into. You know, I'm still trying to get everything solidified. You know, I've got the go ahead to start it. So, you know, I'm just starting to scratch the you know, the surface, and I'm trying to get into it. But it's something that I'm working towards. So pretty soon, you know, with the right help, and, you know, just the right connections, so I'll be able to, man, get into it, and it will be a third business that I can add to my stream of businesses. So yeah.
So let's talk about time management. How do you go about managing time on the road with your truck, and also time in the community, which both pay well, both keeping the lights on, and you're doing a great job. You're going to be debt free at the end of the year. How do you go about managing time? To give some, if you had to give some tips about time management for someone who wanted to be a serial entrepreneur, which I consider you to be, what would be some tips on how to go about managing your time? Because not everybody, for the average person, that might seem like a workload that they wouldn't be able to handle it, but you're doing it with ease. It seems like you're doing it very easily, or maybe you're not. Maybe you might be just a laid back guy, and I don't see the stress or nothing. But to me, it seems like you're taking it on exceptionally well.
It's definitely not easy. I definitely make it look easier than it is, but in the daytime, normally outreach don't start till about, you know, 1 o'clock. After 1 o'clock, it's mostly when we meet for outreach. Sometimes it starts about 4 or 5. So I'm up every day, 5, 6 in the morning, You know, I'm making sure my son is up, getting my kids ready for school, dropping them off at school. When I drop them off at school, you know, I'm out there. So I jump in the truck, I do a few loads, travel, man, get the loads done. Then, you know, at about 12, 1 o'clock, I'm finishing up with the trucking job. And then I'm, you know, coming back to the neighborhood to, you know, then being inside of my neighborhood to then make sure that my community is safe. So, you know, it take a lot. It's very exhausting, but like I said, you know, it's something that I love to do. You know, I love to, you know, I've always been a hustler, so I look at it like a hustle. I get in my truck early in the morning. I hustle for a couple of hours. Then I go to the org. I work with them for a couple of hours, and then, you know, it's still not over because I come home and then you know, I do some more work at home with the kids. You know, homework. You know, bonding with my children, and you know, it's just something that I love to do. You know, you only get 8 hours of sleep, so man, the other 16 hours you got to make it count and make it effective, and you got to be doing something. So I just want to always be busy moving around.
I didn't talk about that job, but that is another job, is being the father. And congratulations on that. I mean, you talk about your kids all the time. You have love for your kids. You do a phenomenal job with your kids. Congratulations on that. Where do you get the inspiration from for all these ventures and ideas? Because every time we meet, I'll tell you why you're one of the easiest people to work with, is because my job is just to help with the budget and help to make sure that whatever vision you have can be sustainable. But the vision that you have is always so great. And then the foundation and the work that you've put in to create income to support that vision, it makes it a very easy financial plan to put together. Really, it's just a matter of, I mean, I'll tell you, I'll be candid. A lot of times when I'm meeting with individuals, I meet with them and I'm having to find or create ways around deficit spending and create ways around not having enough. My thing with you is, how do we take what we have and use it in the most responsible way? And so it's a high class problem, because what you've been able to do is take your vision and create a support system to make it come to fruition. So where do you get the inspiration from to just keep thinking bigger all the doggone time? Because I mean, that's something I think that people should, if somebody can have a piece of your vision, it would be very motivating.
It just comes naturally, you know. I never want to be complacent where I'm at. You know, I always want to be, you know, adding on, or I always want to move up. So I'm never comfortable with just staying where I'm at. My goal is to always make advance and make progress. If you ain't making progress and you sitting still or sitting in one place, then you're not doing enough. So my mind is always thinking progress, moving forward, you know, keep my feet moving. So
all right.
wherever I can find time and I can find space, I'm just always trying to create something, man, make it happen, make it work.
Well, we have a question in the audience. I'm going to open it up to the floor here for this phenomenal brother who's doing some great things. We have a question. Carol Wells has a question. What's your question, Carol Wells?
Hi, Corey. I first want to say that congratulations. You've made a turnaround in your life that obviously has been significant and has caused you to want to keep going. And so that takes a certain amount of strength in a person. You must be very proud of what you've done, because I can tell, I know Mr. Mack seems to be very proud of you, and I'm sure your friends are too. The question I have is more general. I know I can appreciate your work in the community, but at some point, what do you say to people that encourages them to want to do what you've done, turn your life around and become an inspiration to people? Because, you know, so often we as a people, we need that kind of inspiration. We don't have getting rid of debt as a priority. We don't have getting more money legitimately, that we don't have that as an inspiration. But we look at you and we see that we can have that inspiration, because you literally turned your life around. You were in prison, you got out of prison, your situation was difficult, but you managed to do it. What are you saying to people that you work with to say to them, you need to make yourself a priority. You need to make yourself a priority and get yourself together. Because so often, most people that we know don't have that as a priority. And so what they do is they just keep going along at the same time, doing very little. But what do you do? What do you say to the young people that you're working with that hopefully gives them some kind of an inspiration to want to make that pivot, make that turn, and be able to start doing what you've done? Because most people don't. Most people are content with just doing what you were doing, being homeless, hustling, making money however you can make money, and having debt. Most people don't take advantage of the resources that you've had, and they are out there to be taken advantage of, but most people don't do that. So what do you say to young people to say, you don't have to be doing this all the time? You can make yourself a priority, and you can do something so that you too can be debt-free after a period of time. You too can learn how to spend your money. What do you say to people to do to encourage them to do that?
Number one is to you have to get that financial literacy. Going through one of the MAC programs, or any financial literacy that you can gain as much financial literacy as you can. And you have to get sick and tired of settling and just going through what you went through. Where I came from, and it's very hard, but you got to have a strong mind, and you just got to want it. It was something that I always wanted. And coming up, I was a person who always wanted something. I always wanted to do more, and I always wanted to keep some, I always wanted to keep finances in my pocket. So from the time when I came up, went through the penitentiary and was in the streets to now, I try and continue to be the same person I was. I don't try and put myself on the shelf and feel like I'm better than anybody. I'm the same person I was. I'm just like you. And with the same work ethic, man, we all can be, something more than what we want to be. But one thing is, you just gotta want it. You can't settle and just want to sit around and do nothing. If you got idle time, then you need to be utilizing the idle time to better yourself. So one thing that I do, when I'm sitting around, I just keep myself busy. And most of the people that I know from the neighborhood, I'll go back, I'll be around them, and I just kind of tell them, I'll be trying to help them get jobs. And, once you get one job, you get a second job. If you got 5-6 hours, that's a part-time job. And I just try and keep, planting the seed and showing them, with my actions. So I just, keep talking to them and keep getting them, speeches until, they finally get it. I didn't get it right away. Mac, he had to tell me a couple times, and it wasn't until I sat down and I looked at my finances and realized, wait a minute, I'm paying all this money to these companies, and I got this money sitting over here. I might as well utilize this as my benefit. Once I get them out the way, all that money I'm giving them, now it's all mine. So it just helped me. He just helped me to understand financial literacy. And once I was able to understand it, I realized that, man, I need to be utilizing this to help me instead of allowing it to keep hurting me like it was.
Awesome answer, brother. I will say, you being a little bit humble because you were grinding years before you met me. Years before you met me, brother, you were grinding. I gave you some tips, but the drive and the businesses and all that stuff had already started before we sat down. It was just a little fine tuning and tweaking in terms of the finances. But before you, so brother, give yourself a lot of credit for that. Any other questions that we have from anybody out there? Any questions or comments or thoughts?
Not a question, but a comment. This is Tony Woods from Public Equity. I just want to say, Tony, what's going on, good brother? How you feeling, man?
How you doing, my brother? Good to talk to you again.
Man, likewise, man. Corey, I just say, man, we really appreciate you at Public Equity, bro. I'm super proud of you, man. It's been a pleasure to work with you, man, and it's nowhere to go but up for you. You know what I mean? You have been dedicated, committed to the community work, but as well as just self-improvement. I think that most people don't understand that part of it, right? The best gift we can give the community is the best version of ourselves. You've been committed to working on yourself internally first, right? Because, man, you talk a lot outside of work. You know what I mean? So I just want to say I applaud you, good brother. I'm proud of you, man. And even to see you hosting this platform, man, it just does my heart some good. So love to you, my brother. Much success and nothing less, man.
I appreciate it, Tony.
Good to hear from you.
I have another observation to make. I'm looking at you and I'm thinking in 20 years or even 25 years, you will have a retirement fund and you will be able to relax and not have all the jobs that you have right now because you'll be getting retirement. You need to ask the question of others, where will you be in 25 years? And hopefully, if they're smart, they will do this, have the same kind of answer. But you know, right now, your journey will lead to that, will lead to a good retirement and a retirement where you can take a break from doing all the work that you're doing now. That's all.
All right, all right. I'll say it's gonna be less than that. Less than that. Yeah, because I've seen the numbers. It'll be less than that. But this brother's been working. He's been working hard, working very hard. Any other questions or comments? Questions or comments or thoughts about the conversation? Are these you have some of your friends on here, Brother Corey?
Yes, a few friends, a few coworkers, a lot of people that I be around daily. So,
Okay. Anybody else from Public Equity beside Tony?
I believe so. I can't see everybody that's on there, but I believe it is a few.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Yep. Yes, it's a few public equities.
Yeah,
Couple
come on,
CPIU members.
if I'll ask the people from the Public Equity, give a couple of thoughts about your day-to-day job, because I know, as Corey said, and I always say that the people that we work with through MPI, and I know the Public Equity is one of the partners of MPI, I say all the time, you all are on the front line. You all are on the front line, literally, of making sure that when we say violence is down in Chicago 13%, it's because of the work you all are doing. I would love to hear your thoughts about your day-to-day process and what you do and how that work is going. If you could, like, who else is on Public Equity, Corey? I mean, let's call them out.
We got Jesse. We got the other Corey.
Brother Jesse, how's the work going? How's your work going day to day? And talk a little bit about the experience that you've seen in Public Equity every day, brother. I'm just curious to hear how things are going.
Well, day to day, the work is building relationships and seeing people in the community, trying to get the needs met to the people that we service in the community, letting them know what we do offer and what we have. As Corey said earlier, getting in front of fires before they erupt, showing these little brothers that there's other options, showing these little sisters that there's other options, attempting to get back in school, touching on the mental health, family therapy. So the work is busy.
And it's important, so important what you're doing. And I just wanted to say, I'll just let you know, from me to you, I appreciate the work you all are doing out there. I've heard firsthand from the work that Corey is doing. I had a chance to at least virtually meet Brother Tony and heard about the work that they were doing, especially with the youth out there. And it's paramount that the work that we see you all successful. So I told this to Corey, I'll let you all know, if there's anything you can do that I can do in terms of financial literacy to teach, let me know. I've already talked to Tina. I'll be coming out to Chicago a little bit more frequently. I'd love to even sit down and maybe we can do some community-based workshops when I'm in Chicago on the ground, if that's possible.
And that can be all possible. It could be worked out through whenever you visit. We can have staff members as well as participants available for one of these workshops so people can take advantage of the greatness that you spread it.
All right, brother. Well, let's get it going, brother. I'll talk through Corey and let y'all know when I'm coming out there. And then we'll get it going that way.
Okay, we here.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or thoughts? Any other praise comments for Brother Corey? Because the brother gave a phenomenal speech. I
We
know
just
y'all-
want to say congratulations to you, Brother Corey, man. And I do appreciate you being a good guy. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate the work you're doing, kid.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. I love y'all, brother.
All right. Well, this is it's 5 minutes to go. This is the town hall meeting. Each one teach one town hall meeting. We want to say thank you again for Brother Corey for exceeding expectations and really bringing the funk when it comes to delivering a good message and a good word and telling his story to all those that are out there. I hope you learned from this. If anybody has any questions about financial education, please just let us know. We'd love to help you in any way and assist you. On behalf of Metropolitan Peace Initiatives, my name is Ryan Mack, president of Main Street, signing out. Peace. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna get that. We're gonna do some editing, and then I get the stuff over to you, brother. Get the video over to you. That was a great job, man. Great freaking job.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Ryan, man. I appreciate everything you're doing. Continue the work that you continue to do, and just, man, I just appreciate you from reaching out and just keeping in touch with me and making sure I'm doing good. And
Well, this work is done by itself. You do this work. This work is you spread the message. So it's on you right here today, brother. Good stuff, man. Well, I'll be in touch. We got to get that retirement budget together soon, man.
we definitely do. We definitely do. I'm working on it.
I ain't forgot. I'm gonna sit down and put some numbers on paper because I ain't lying when I said it's gonna be sooner than 25 years. I remember the numbers. It's gonna be sooner than 25 years when you can say I'm financially independent. I'm sure of that. That ain't gonna be no 25 years.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, I just got a raise was nice. So
how much they get? How much extra? Ain't nobody on here now.
I went from like 50 something to 70. So
oh man, we gotta get the numbers on paper, man. We'll get the numbers on paper.
Yeah, man, and I still ain't touching it because I'm still paying everything with the trucking. So it's still stacking.
Man, good stuff, brother. Congratulations, man. For real. Yeah. Congratulations. All right, brother. I'll be in touch soon, man. Next time I talk you for real, I'm real talk. Let's get that retirement budget together, put some numbers on paper, and then see. Because I'm thinking 10, 15 years, maybe. Does that number sound too? I'm thinking 10, 15 years in terms of financial independence, in terms of if you stop working, you good.
Yeah. I'm working with, I mean, I got a few people in my face too with the other one. So I got another guy who another partner who potentially gonna come in with the cannabis thing too. So I'm gonna see how that go. I'm still trying to work out the numbers, and depending on this new player that I'm bringing in, he's gonna let me keep more of the equity. So we'll see how that go.
All right, brother. Well, good stuff, man. I'll holler at you a little bit, man. I'll be in touch soon, man, with the videos. Thanks again.